You're listening to PJ and Friends on pjandfriends.com. Orlando, Florida.
PJ and Friends is proud to present another edition of their Spotlight interview series. And now, welcome your host, PJ.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is PJ. This is PJ and Friends. This is our Spotlight interview series. Today, we have Krista Miller on with us. Good morning, Krista.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Oh, good. I'm sitting on my back porch with my Diet Dr. Pepper, enjoying the weather.
Diet Dr. Pepper. Very, very cool. I'm a Diet Pepsi kind of guy, but that's just me. I became aware of you through my fanship of the Comedy Warehouse, and we won't talk about how long ago that was. But I was I'll tell you how bad of a fan I was. I would rent a wheelchair. So I could.
Okay, this is getting weird.
I would rent a wheelchair so I could get to that door and then be seated in front. You know, the
That's
side
a little creepy. That's awesome, though.
Well, yeah. And then I felt guilty, and so I stopped doing that. But you know, if you're in a wheelchair, you're more likely to get in than not. So yes, I was an evil person. All you people send me notes and letters. There you go. So Krista, to get what I want to do is get people to know you, find a little bit more about you. Where were you born and raised?
Oh, Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yeah, right in one of the suburbs of Atlanta.
Suburbs of Atlanta. And where? What was your first? What gave you your first introduction to theater or acting? Wow,
that was in high school, I guess. But then my first theme park job was Six Flags over Georgia. I was 16.
And were you performing there? What were you doing there?
Yeah, I was performing there in a couple of their shows for a couple of years.
Does Six Flags still exist? I know this is bad. I probably should know this. Do they still exist?
Yeah, they do.
They used to have one in Fort Lauderdale in the mid-'80s when it didn't work too well, so it went under. But and
right, there's still a few left.
Right. The reason I remember that it was there was because I was a late Monkees fan. And then the Monkees came in, and they had a couple of the Monkees guys there before the Monkees official reunion. MTV did a deal down there. Mark Goodson and all that came down, and I was sitting there watching. The only reason I went was for this, and of course there was literally no audience. That's why that show's not around anymore. But anyway, that's how I found out about that place. So what did you perform? What kind of performances did you do at Six Flags?
Well, I was a singer-dancer for a long, long time, and I did a show called Sing Country Gold, and then I did Thank You for the Music, and they were two different theaters. One was indoor, one was outdoor. But yeah, I worked there. I worked at Opryland, USA in Nashville for about 4 years, till that went under. So I think I'm getting, known for closing shows.
No. You know what? Can I tell you? Well, we'll get to that in a minute. But so many things are changing in this locally that it's scaring me. But I'm at that age now where I notice that things are don't change things for me. I like things the way they are.
Yeah.
You okay? So have you had any formal training?
I have a music theater degree.
Very cool. From where?
From Jacksonville University. I went up in Jacksonville, Florida.
You're a Southern girl.
I'm a very Southern girl, yes. I don't go more north of the Mason-Dixon line for anything more than a visit.
Anything more than a visit, yeah, I understand that. I was born in Newark, New Jersey, raised in Freehold, New Jersey until I was 7, and we've lived here ever since. And although I like going back every once in a while, I like leaving the snow behind me. So it's pretty on Christmas. After that, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you have you been in any productions, any major productions?
Well, I've done some stuff in college and, cabaret and Robert Bridegroom and stuff. I did Disenchanted here in Orlando at the Orlando Shakespeare Theater during the what do you call it, festival?
Fringe?
Yeah.
Very, very cool. You, okay, so I became aware of you through the Comedy Warehouse. This is before I got into the improv bug, the acting bug. I'm not as skilled as we have so much talent here in Orlando because of the theme parks and the different things that are here. How did you become a part of the Comedy Warehouse? How did that manifest for you?
Wow, dumb luck. There was an in-house audition at Disney, and I went and threw my hat in the ring. I had never done improv before in my life. I'd always been a song and dance girl, and I just went for it, and luckily I snuck my way in, and there were some, like you said, amazingly talented people that kind of helped me through that first couple of years because it was scary.
And Dave Russell had something to do with that, did he not? Was he not a pivotal part
Was
of
that
it?
you talking about Dave?
Dave Russell,
Dave
yeah.
Russell?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was our director in the later years. But initially it was Chris Oyen. Chris Oyen is the gentleman who brought me in.
I did not know that. Yeah, my world is largely SAC related, SAC Comedy Lab and people so forth.
Yeah.
And of course, they did so many of the different theater groups inside of the theme park, so they had a lot of influence there. So, my history is limited to that. So I did not realize there was a world out before.
I remember SAC probably way before your time. They used to do a monthly show called Trendy Britches. I did a couple of those performances, which was a lot of fun.
Maybe. I think I didn't become aware of them. Okay, I liked their work because I was a theme park junkie. I liked a lot of the street performances they did at Epcot. I liked Streetmosphere and a lot of the things that they did that they helped create and help influence at back then MGM Studios, Hollywood Studios. But I did not know until many years later when I started attending Renaissance festivals that they had anything to do with that when I became a SAC, and then I learned about the history, and that's how but I did not realize how much. But I also I don't know whether my interaction with them was before or after what you're talking about as far as that show you just mentioned.
Well, this was back in the early 90s, I guess.
Okay. So I probably enjoyed their work product at Disney, but I did not know anything of them. So I did not know the entity.
Well, they've had some pretty majorly talented people come out of there as well. I know a writer-producer, Paul Appel, came out of the SAC Arena down here. And Wayne Brady as well.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten the chance to play with him a couple times. Very nice gentleman.
Now you, the Comedy Warehouse has a cult following almost. I mean, when they closed you guys, they were going to revamp downtown Disney, and of course that didn't happen for a long time. I think they're just now getting to it. The economy hit and things have changed and all that. But you guys have had some reunion shows and things like that, off property and all that, and very well received. I know that whenever I've gone to these things. Usually you have a good core audience. Now, I know you had illness this year, but when they bring it back every year for the holidays, you guys, standing room only almost all the time. Great reception.
They dust us off once a year or so, yeah.
But that's amazing, though. I mean, it's a great thing. You guys, it's fun stuff. And what I like about Disney is we've gotten away from. We've talked to other people in the last couple of weeks about this, but we've gotten away from. Actors nowadays specialize. They'll either be an actor, they might be a singer. And nowadays you're back to that triple threat thing. If you can sing, act, dance, and all that, then you're. And the good thing about the people that I saw at Comedy Warehouse and anything Disney related, usually they're well rounded. I mean, I've seen you sing, I've seen you dance, I've seen your comedy. You did a bit over at what's that? The one where it was a game show over there at Epcot.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
Over at Epcot, you said?
Well, wasn't it?
That Velcro thing?
Yeah.
Oh, what a soul-stealing thing that was.
Every 10 minutes you had to do the same thing over and over and over again. But you don't understand when they closed that. It's not like they advertised the performer; they advertised the show. So you don't know where your people wound up until you're like, hey, I know that person.
Exactly.
So it was hard. But I had been a fan for a long time. Mary Thompson Hunt, met her through SAC Comedy Lab. She's like this angel of a soul. She's the kind of person that, I don't care who you are. If you're talking to her, she's looking right at you and she's giving you every ounce of her attention. And she's just this.
Yeah.
And you've got.
She is our Earth Mother. Yeah.
She is. So I don't know that I've ever been disappointed with anything I've seen from you guys.
Oh wow, that's very nice.
I'm biased. I'm a fan, but at the same time, you guys are talent. You guys are very talented. So you're at Disney. What other things have you been doing recently with Disney?
Oh, recently with Disney, I was one of the Ziti sisters for a couple of years over in the Italy Pavilion.
I didn't know they had that. See there, you're teaching me something new.
No, they closed that show.
We'll cross that off the list.
Yeah, there we go. I subbed at World Showcase Players. I did the Flower and Garden Festival.
Are you still doing the Laugh Floor?
I am.
Because
I am. I sub over there whenever, so I sit like a vulture waiting for somebody to either become ill or get a vacation day.
That's bad.
And then I pounce on their hours.
See,
yeah.
I know. So, my car was recruited by Dave Russell to come and do that. And then he's an artistic director at SAC Comedy Lab, and I remember watching. I had just recently become a friend of yours on Facebook, so I was watching. When you were up real late, having to workshop and rehearse that. So I was. I feel so bad. I don't know how people in the in the industry don't have a heart attack every year when their contracts have to come up for renewal at Disney. That's got to be a hard way to make a living because you never know when things are going to change. You don't know when they're going to go in a new direction. That has
absolutely.
to be hard for you guys.
It is very hard, but you kind of get complacent. I was there for 25 years. And then in the middle of a contract, they kind of called us in at the end of the day and said, I'm sorry, we're closing your show. Oh, so even a 1-year contract is only a 2-week out clause.
How do you raise a family on that? That's got to drive you insane. It's got to be a scary thing every year.
It is a very scary thing every year, but, you hope that the work you've done, is kept around. And like I said, they dust us off once in a while and showcase us for a little bit. So, I don't know. I'm going to throw my hat in a few more rings around town and see what pops up. But, yeah, I got 2 kids. It scares the devil out of me.
Right. And the thing is, this last year, of course, being a fan, so many people that I know, of course, interacting with SAC Comedy Lab, and Fringe and all that, you see these performers, maybe not on a regular basis, but you have a good idea of what's going on. And so many shows have been phased out. You American Idol, you had, the American, good Lord, I'm not going to get this. A couple of the shows that SAC, one of the last couple of shows that SAC had at Epcot closed this year.
Yeah, the World Showcase Players.
Yeah. And
closed down.
So many of them are going away. And so the people that were there, and I know a lot of the Streetmosphere people that had been there for a long time, and it's not that's going away. I'm wondering if they're bringing in new talent. I don't know if they're cheaper talent. I don't know how that works. But so I'm watching some of my favorites, some of the people that I've followed for years, just not being renewed, and it's hard because I like them. I liked the shows, and I guess it just doesn't mean the show's going to be any worse, but. I feel so bad for these people because now you wonder, and you see it, and they're these people try to be so brave and so positive about it. I'm a nervous wreck all the time anyway. I'd be campaigning. I'd have campaign posters up. Look at what I did this year. I'd hire a publicist. I would be in bed, Xanaxed out until they said, "Hey, come on back." I wouldn't be able to do that.
It's a pretty tense time when it's going around. Everybody's, trying to keep in touch with each other and see who fell under the axe or not,
Right. The core group there at the the core group that I knew at the warehouse back then was yourself, Mary Thompson Hunt, Mark Lehner, Steve, and I can't pronounce his last name.
Pernick.
Yep.
Yeah.
You had musician. What's her name?
Carol Stein.
Yes, awesome lady. You guys
very talented.
You had Paul Vogt, Peter Vogt was there. I was just on the tail end of that before Paul went out to L.A. And then he went on to be famous.
Of course.
Right. So when you guys get to do the reunions, how does it? Does it click automatically, or do you guys have to workshop?
Oh, it's funny because we're all such close friends. We kind of all went through a lot of firsts in our lives together. Buying your first house, getting married, having a kid. We went through a lot of that time as a group. So we've always been very, very, very close. Mary was there when my second child was born.
Wow.
Steve was at my wedding. Kelly Holden and Jennifer Broussard were my bridesmaids. Greg Triggs, bridesmaid, So, yeah, we're all very, very close as just people.
Wow. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll continue talking with you. Give me one moment.
You're listening to PJ and Friends on PJandFriends.com. Orlando, Florida.
Have you ever wanted to ride in a hot air balloon? Well, you can with Orlando Balloon Rides. It's an adventure of a lifetime. Take a ride in a hot air balloon. You will fly with the winds on a truly amazing journey. Explore Florida from the orange groves to the theme parks and more. See it all from a whole new vantage point. Experience total excitement from start to finish. You will ascend above the treetops to several thousand feet. This is an experience of a lifetime. Visit OrlandoBalloonRides.com for more information. That's OrlandoBalloonRides.com. Zoom Air Adventure Park Orlando, ziplining at its best. A Zoom Air Adventure is a great outing for families, friends, or coworkers. This entertaining self-propelled attraction gives both nature lovers and challenge seekers the opportunity to enjoy the thrill of adventure. Feel your adrenaline pump as you conquer abundant treetop challenges, including exhilarating rides on our zipline. Visit zoomair.us for more information. That's zoomair.us.
PJ and Friends has several ways to promote your product, service, club, group, or business. You can sponsor a segment or a whole show. Advertising packages are affordable. We can even barter in exchange for goods and services. We can get you heard. We have live reads, 30 and 60-second commercials. We can do shows live on location. Email us at sales@pjandfriends.com. Also, follow us on Facebook. Go to our website, pjandfriends.com. Take a look around, see what's there. We have old shows, things like that. The whole series here, the Spotlight interview series. But also there's a link there to our Facebook page. That's the best way to keep track of us. Now, I don't do the Twitter thing, so it ain't going to happen. You know, get over it. Move on. So anyway, and now we're back. Krista, how you doing?
Yeah, still doing good.
Very cool. So we were supposed to do this last week, and I felt so bad because I have to assume that getting back to do every year where they do the Christmas shows for the Comedy Warehouse, that it's. I mean, if I could get up on that stage, I'm not nowhere near the skill set of the people that are up there, and they've snuck some people in that weren't originally members, but they're just as good. However, being the staunch fan that I am, it's kind of, but it's got to kill you when you can't go. I mean, it would kill me. I mean, I think it'd be, you're sorely missed when you're not there.
Oh, gosh. I was sick, actually, the last 3 days of the run this year, and it was devastating. My kids were supposed to come out and see me. They were very disappointed about that. But sneaking people in, you talk about amazingly talented people. Mike Carr was one of those
yes,
people.
He was. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And it's funny.
He's kind of a newish kid on the block, but he's really good.
It's funny, though. We talked about it. I think the first year was last year. I think he said the first year was last year that he was on there.
Oh, 2 years ago, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I may have it wrong. But he was telling me he was nervous. It's hard to... I'm nervous. He says, the thing is, you guys have such a short window in that show to actually do anything. Because they recycle the show every hour for a while, and then you got a break, and then you get... So it's not like a regular show like with SAC where they got an hour and a half, and they got time to create some camaraderie with the audience and so forth. You guys have such a short window, and some of those scenes or skits or sketches are so small. That and that's what he was saying. It was he was nervous because he'd not been on there, and I just find it hard to believe that he was nervous simply because he's taught me, and he's this awesome performer. Another one you get is Jim Doyle.
Yes.
And he's a staple there with Mulch, Sweat, and Shears. And
he is Mulch, Sweat, and Shears.
He's
amazing. I'm supposed to learn that show, by the way.
Really?
So don't be disappointed if you see me.
No.
Jim.
No.
Oh my gosh.
That'd be awesome.
Animal.
That'd be awesome. You're a hell of a singer, so that's a good thing. But see, this is a cool thing. I watch people perform these shows, and as a fan, it's I'm glad that they bring it back. Mark left not necessarily on good terms, so unfortunately, I don't think we'll see him back on that stage anytime soon. All right, so
it's got to be intimidating for the new kids that come on, though. It really does, because we've all been such friends for like 20 years.
Right.
That it is easy for us to step into quick structures because we know each other that well. And, it's taken Mike a couple of years to know us. He's always had the skill set, but to get to know the people enough to trust them is a whole different ballgame.
That's true. Especially, again, with that short window to create the magic. There's got to be some synergy there. If it's not, then... while it may work, it works better if you have that interaction with each other. So what's happening with you now? What's going on with you now? I know that I guess do you have a set gig right now at Disney or no?
I don't. I am a sub. Like I said, I still work Monsters Laugh Floor sometimes. I'm going to be learning mulch. Gosh, I may throw my hat in the ring at a couple other auditions for other places in town.
Right.
So we'll see what pops up. I actually played a cancer patient for oncologists learning how to deal with patients, which was kind of interesting. You know, it was an improv set, but you kind of had your set character. So that was a darker side of improv, I guess.
So, so your hubby, he's been having some challenges. Is that okay to talk about?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk about him. He's not here.
Now, let me ask you a question. What was his role at the Magic Kingdom?
He is the fire chief on Main Street.
See, I didn't. I see. Here's the thing. And how long has he done that?
Oh, years.
See, and that's the thing. I've seen him, but I didn't know he was yours.
You know, it's funny. After all these years, we've been married for 20 years, and people still, because the name Miller is so common, they don't put us together.
Well, I didn't know the name. I knew the character. I knew the person that he and the thing is he's kind of like. If I remember, there is a town mayor. Is there not every once in a while that shows up?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Chris Weaver.
And I thought, you know, so he's as iconic as the mayor because first, rarely does he come out, but when he does, I mean, not that I've seen him all the time, but the fire chief is a little more common than the other guy, at least in my experience, because I've seen the fire chief more. Maybe it's just because it's more the suit's more noticeable than the mayor's. But
well, that's true too. But the mayor is also 80 years old.
Oh, well, there you go.
So he's had, you know, some time off that he's needed to take this year, but he's going strong. It's amazing. The man's remarkable.
But and the thing is those characters, those people that are there, when they're there, they're iconic. So it's like for me, because I've seen him. Again, I didn't know until recently, you know, and I saw pictures. Oh, wait a minute, I know him. You know, so how's he doing?
He's doing well. He broke his leg and he tore his rotator cuff. That was at Thanksgiving, night before Thanksgiving, so that's been good times.
Wow.
But he's on the mend, but he's not working right at this time either. He's also a pirate. I don't know if you know that.
I did not know that.
He was with a group called Rusty Cutlass.
I didn't know that either. Rusty Cutlass.
Excuse me. Yeah, he plays the concertina. And you'll have to look up Rusty Cutlass. They're actually really, really good. They have their own website and all that good stuff. But, yeah, when he was out for Christmas, because of his injuries, I filled in over with them.
Well, that's cool.
So I got to be a pirate.
So now, is it a comedy troupe or is it just a theater troupe?
No, it is strictly a musicians group. I mean, they do some comedy in between, but it's mostly, you know, bad pirate jokes and that sort of thing. But the kids love them, families love them. They're very energetic. It's a lot of fun. So
let me ask you though. I know Dave Russell not real well, but well. And he's got a family, and his kids are now entering into the business. His son was in a production. Yes. So is his daughter. Now, do your kids show any promise?
My kids? My oldest plays guitar and is more theatrical. My youngest leans more towards the writing end of things, I think.
No lawyers or doctors, huh? No one to keep you rich, huh?
No. I was so hoping they would be useful and not decorative, but it's just not going to happen.
Decorative.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. You so okay. It says here that you are an impersonator. Who have you impersonated?
Oh Lord, Judy Garland, Dolly Parton. Those are like my staples, I guess.
And if you had to choose between the two, which do you prefer?
Probably Judy.
Judy. So and while you're a singer, so do you sing her hits?
I do. I try to do things more in the style of her.
Okay.
But it's usually an older Judy, and probably.
So is it the drug?
In her abusive phase? Let's put it that way.
Poor lady. No, I am. I don't know. I there was a TV movie, a bad TV movie about her several years ago, about her life and
oh, yes.
how she would go from hotel to hotel, and I guess back then it was a big deal for actors to stay in your hotel and not pay. What was it? Liza Minnelli. It was funny. It was just not to bring this weird, but she it's so much joy she brought to so many people, and it's for her to want
Oh, yeah.
go through the
she
challenges
had a
went
rough
through.
time.
Yeah.
I mean, she had some challenges, and I think it's Paul Vogt that had a video of her doing one of her Christmas specials, and she's sitting there singing with Mel Torme, and every most child is gonna spy to see if rainbows really know how. She has no idea. She said rainbows instead of reindeer. And he just looked at her like, close.
But the thing is, because she sings so well, she could probably get away with it anyway, right? It's her.
Oh, yeah. She was rocking back and forth and smiling the entire time. Had no idea.
I saw, and I don't remember where it was, she and her daughter, she had done some sort of, it was like a movie, it was like a variety show or something like that, where many years ago. And her daughter's on there, and the two are singing, and they're just...
was this Liza or Lorna?
Liza. It was Liza.
Liza, okay.
And I mean, you could tell they're almost like kindred spirits because she was sitting on her lap, and they looked alike, and they sounded alike, and I can't name the thing. It was a long time ago. It was just a clip, but probably can find it on YouTube somewhere. But it's she that's a great character to perform. So what's on the horizon for you? What's new for you this year?
Oh gosh. I'm exploring doing a little writing of my own. I may do some more corporate teaching kind of gigs. We've done several of those where we use improv to teach, office skills, that kind of thing. And then it kind of culminates in a show for them once we have talked them through this seminar. But those are kind of fun, to get people up on their feet and making them say yes to and to things that normally they would say, oh, no, but...
Yes. Tony Lopez, right?
Of course, yes.
He's had his challenges the last couple of years. And one of the things I mentioned, and I mentioned it to Herb too, Herb Henson. There is no instruction for the Streetmosphere type of performance. SAC has all these things, and the reason I think it's a good, if nothing else, series of workshops to put together, is because on stage in improv, long and short form, the characters aren't held for too long. You don't have to hold that character for too long.
Exactly.
If you've ever been to any of the Streetmosphere, performances. Tony Lopez, when he was the Public Works, they have a bit that they're out for 25, 30 minutes, and they're holding these characters for a good period of time. And there's a difference between being able to pull that off and have that character versus a couple of minutes of a scene. And
right.
I think, not to mention, the vaudeville type of stuff, the pratfalls but I think there has got to be a space or place for that kind of a workshop, for those kinds of classes, because nobody is doing that. And now here's the thing. With all the new things opening up on iDrive, with all the hotels wanting their entertainment, with all these people, I cannot believe there is not least of a small market for that kind of thing.
Oh, well, that's the thing. If you can come up with a great idea and get it marketed somehow to these places, they really might buy off on it. But it's usually the corporate people that come in for their specific conventions.
Right.
That want a group like that. It's not the hotel itself. It's the convention that books the hotel.
Well, what I'm talking about, though, is don't worry about marketing it. What I think the side is if you talk to one or two of the troops here about putting together a series of workshops, maybe master class workshops or something similar, I think you'd find yourself with a good audience of people that would be interested in that. Because, first of all, people here are starving for, you bring in a workshop, they go. And I would pay to do this. I mean, I would love to. I know Tony's still on the mend, but there's nobody teaching anything like this. And I would love to, And I think Tony's concern was, well, we can't teach what Disney. No. You don't need to teach the exact Disney thing. It's the concept. It's the skill set. It's the, I think it would be a fun thing to do. Anyway, that's just me talking.
Well, some of it I think has to be on-the-job training, because at some point you got to get out there and do it. Yes, there are basic rules, I think, that go along with just the structure of the games and how they're played or that sort of thing, or building a character. But I think at some point you have to get out there and learn to listen to the people you're working with.
Right.
And read a crowd. And it's also hard to do when it's, 97 degrees and 88% humidity.
Oh, yeah. And then, it's changed, too. The Streetmosphere, for example, over at Hollywood Studios, I still want to call it MGM.
I do, too.
It changed. I don't see when it first... Okay, I've been an annual pass holder for Disney since it used to be where you would have to go to guest services. They'd take you in the back room, take a picture of it, and laminate it to the card. And it wasn't automated. That was it. I mean, they had a it was like a little envelope thing, and they took your picture and they cut it in the shape of an oval, and they put it between the two things, and they laminated it so your face was an oval on the card, and it had the year on it. That was it. So I've been when they first opened. MGM Hollywood Studios. I was there the first couple of days, and of course, the characters are coming out. It's the ideas. It's the 1920s, and the people are in the garb, and they're talking the thing. And Mike Marzella was there, and
oh gosh, you can't mistake him anywhere.
No, and that voice is definitely that's how
huge.
And so anyway, he Nigel Philister was one of his characters, but it's changed a little bit. They've gone, at least I have not been there in recent, where I've been there when it opens to see if those things are still being done. But what I do see is more of the improv games.
Yes.
And I think that cheapens it. I think that I don't, now you still have the public works people that do their thing. And I have to assume, and I'm guessing because I don't know, that there are probably other little bits that are still done, but they've gotten away from that experience of this is the 1920s Hollywood. This is you got the girl with her suitcase who's just arrived into town. You got the CD director who wants to, and I know some of that's still there, but they've gotten away from the interaction and more of it's just the improv games, and I think that's why. For me, I wish it were, again, that's the old man in me.
Well, that was kind of the mandate, I think, that was given to the group, was to do more group things in the street that would involve people. Correct. As opposed to spreading out on your own. A couple of people still go out on their own. I think Terry Ward, magician, still does a lot of stuff on his own.
Right. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, the change, the times that have changed.
Absolutely.
But you're right. With an improv, it's like Terry Olson and Herb. I've asked them why don't they ever come back to SAC and all that. Herb likes the interaction. He likes that group audience. They come from the Renaissance arena.
Oh yeah, they're old school.
So they're used to doing something that gathers a crowd than entertaining a crowd. And for the Disney experience, that is more valuable to them than just having one or two people. Sure, more people might be entertained, but they're involving or interacting with, and they time these things so that hopefully it eases traffic elsewhere while these things are going on. But I've watched these poor guys. I've watched it's hot outside. You've got every once in a while you got the not so cooperative fan. But even that, it's still a good show. I just, again, the old man prefer the way it was.
Well, and again, they're different skill sets too, because if you're used to working by yourself or on your own, sometimes it is hard to kind of meld yourself into a group think or a group dynamic, Some people are definitely meant to work on their own or in pairs, and some other people are meant to work with groups, and neither of those is an invalid skill set. They're just not the same. See,
I remember, and the thing is, I like the hidden secrets in this stuff. Like, for example, they would, if you're going down Hollywood Boulevard there, and above a store, you'd see a character pop out, and on the street, he'd be talking to the guy on the street, and I was the kind of person, I want to see what's up in that room. I want to go up there and see. Of course, you never could, but anyway, that's what my thing is. Any new things? So nothing new going on with you currently?
Not especially. I signed up for one audition for later on in January, and that's kind of it. I'm just kind of nursing my husband right now, or I should say driving him. He can't drive right now.
Tell him we need him, because if there were a fire at Main Street, I mean, come on. I mean,
I know, right?
There's nobody there. There's nobody there. Well, Krista, I want to thank you for your time today.
Thank you, PJ. This has been awesome.
I appreciate you coming on. Keep us advised of what's happening, and we'll do our...
and that whole idea about teaching a class, Might
Well,
do
you
it.
know, I know Herb's got time. At least he did. And you might want, if you can talk to the couple of them, maybe you guys can put something together, and it would be fun. It couldn't hurt.
Yeah, it couldn't hurt.
One second here. All right. I apologize. All right, we're getting ready to go. I appreciate your patience. This has been PJ and Friends with Krista Miller. You guys have a great day. All right, Krista, I'm going to let you go. I'll talk to you later. All right, this has been PJ and Friends. Please take a moment to go to pjandfriends.com. Take a look around, look at the previous shows. Also, take the time to go to that link there and like us on Facebook. Follow us. We have other interviews coming up. If there's somebody you'd like us to talk to, if you have something you're promoting, email us, pj@pjandfriends.com, and we'll see if we can't get you on. Just a reminder, PJ and Friends has several ways to promote your product, service, club, group, or business. You can sponsor a segment or a whole show. Advertising packages are affordable. We can even barter and exchange for goods and services. We can get you heard. We have live reach, which this is, 30 and 60-second commercials. We can do shows on location. Email us at sales@pjandfriends.com. All right, you guys have a great day, and we'll see you. I'm not sure what the next interview is. I'll look it up on my calendar. You guys have a great day.
You're listening to PJ and Friends on pjandfriends.com. Orlando, Florida.